dynamically tied to the player's VR headset position is kind of what would happen here. A reaction bar would pop up. It's the same exact system that the dialogue uses, but in this case, it's really going to use the fire icon, which represents the attraction and respect meter. So right now, the default is like 0. So this would go very poorly. I'm Demon Dev, and I've been doing a lot of work on trying to extend what is the emotional dialogue system into the rest of the game, which basically means, when you choose your dialogue, usually there's like the text on top and the emotion on bottom, but there's going to be a kind of parallel system for all actions. So this would be like everything from like kissing or romance actions like hugging or trying to hold someone's hand, to like punching, and in some cases spell casting. So what this means is, okay, you are near an action, how basically do you want to think about it? Which I'm really excited about. It's the same way the dialogue works. Here's the dialogue that you could say, here's the emotional component, let's, think things through, do you want to go for this option? Now with actions, it's a lot more open-ended, and you can like say or not say, or do or not do the action, without any consequences. Whereas with dialogue, if you walk away from a conversation, that will grow the frustration of the AI. Anyways, I'm going to turn off this animation. Let's say we've chosen to go for a kiss that is passionate. I don't have the player model made in the new style yet, so I'm just kind of using one of the other characters as a placeholder here. But think of this character with the purple hair on the left as who would be the player. So anyways, what you see here is actually a visualization basically in VR to tell you, okay, you're in this green area, which means, you're safe. But if you get so close that you're in the yellow area, then you're dangerously close to the AI character thinking you're trying to do something like a romance action. So in this case, if the sexual tension is high enough, maybe you're alone together, basically you could try to go for a kiss, and this would automatically pop up when you get into this yellow zone. This little kind of comic panel basically gives you a profile to see, okay, how close are you? And as soon as you enter the orange zone, you basically got a ticking clock, where if you hang out in this zone, then this basically counts as an attempt to go for a kiss. And what that means is the AI is forming her reaction. So in this way, you've actually got two totally different ways to approach something like a romance action. You can hang out in this zone, which is effectively like waiting for the other person to anticipate what you're trying to do and meet you in a kiss or react and push you away effectively. Or you can push straight into the red zone, which is basically you're effectively surprising them with a kiss or just kind of going for it effectively. And then they're going to react in that kind of post having kiss state, unless their personality is the type to basically be suspicious of you and stop you there. So they can also react when you get extremely close to try and stop you. But generally, if you hang out in this zone, then they're like, what are you doing? Or maybe, planning to kiss you back. And you can see this is me just kind of moving around a debug tool, because I'm still very much trying to get the AI and the user interface in the right place for this. And I don't have animations hooked up at either, but I do have different like expression emotes so like something like this, but more in depth and more dynamically tied to the player's VR headset position is kind of what would happen here. And then what would happen is basically a reaction bar would pop up. It's the same exact system that the dialogue uses, but in this case, it's really going to use the fire icon, which represents the attraction and respect meter. So right now, the default is like 0. So this would go very poorly if your orange bar was all the way at 0. So it would start here, and then maybe the fact that you tried to kiss them passionately would bump it up or down a few points depending on their personality. And then that would snap them to a reaction. So maybe their worst reaction is like, get off me, basically interpreting it as like an assault. or just like, like, I really don't think of you that, like, I really don't like you, or something like that. How could you think that I liked you? Something relatively mean. But if your relationship was higher on the attraction meter, then maybe it would snap to a higher response and she would kiss you back for a couple seconds and then pull away or something like that, depending on the character. But anyways, I've been trying to figure out a way to organize this so that, it's not just kind of vaguely getting close to a statue. You can see, okay, here's my options ahead of time. When I'm in this yellow zone, like, okay, I'm looking at all the different relationship bars, and whether you like the character or not, it's totally optional what you want to do there. You can, if you want to, you can try to go for a kiss, and you can kind of see it playing out at the same time. One of the fun things is, I mean, in VR, when you get very close to the face, you're not really knowing exactly what's going on. So I'm hoping to do some sort of a comic panel that helps give you an idea of what's going on. Of course, with much better animations and probably some, well, definitely some constraints that are based on some of the dynamic, positions, rotations of the headset and the AI's personality. So I think that would be super fun. I'm not planning on going much beyond that in the romance mechanics at all, but I think that will be really cool, and it will also be trained a little bit to the player. Even through things like combat, you'll get a similar pop-up where you can go for punches in different places and kind of see that pre-visualized depending on what you want to do. So so I'm really excited about that. I think this is a cool kind of demo scene that I'm working on, where I'm figuring out how these interfaces should work, how the mechanics should feel, trying to figure out exactly how to visualize the fact that once you're in this orange zone, you've got like maybe 2 seconds, maybe it would be more like 1 second in real life, but maybe this activates slow motion where you have, a short period of time to maybe get out, and then the AI maybe won't react, or push forward in case, they will react to the fact that you did it, instead of like, waiting to see what they think of going for the kiss. And then, if you hang out in here, then they will decide what to do, whether they want to kiss you back or not. Something like that. So I think that'll be really fun to strategize about and kind of see how it goes. Certainly nerve-wracking, but you're going to be watching all these meters and stuff while you're kissing them. I think it will actually make it less awkward. They are, in fact, not a real person, but just a game character. But I think it'll feel pretty cool. We'll see. I'll see what people think of this. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments. I'm definitely still working through, when this reaction bar should pop. And, maybe I'll have like on this orange bar, I was thinking about having it basically fill in red or something. Not sure, which would indicate that, okay, this attempt or like anticipation zone has become the executing the kiss zone, whether they're reacting to it by kissing you back or pushing you off or, running away themselves. All that will be something that I'll be looking into doing. And case by case and with the situation. And maybe if there's other people in the scenario, you're really tilting your odds away from success. But there would even be potential outcomes that you might want out of that. This icon at the bottom is kind of your standard awareness of other AIs, sort of similar to a stealth graphic, which is like what I'm trying to represent with the kind of eye icons on the sides here. But so if you make the interesting choice to try and kiss one character while another character is like paying attention or around, is watching, then they'll have their own reaction as well. So, you could be purely going for a kiss, successful or not, to affect your relationships with other people too. It's going to be a very open-ended system that way. So I'm interested to see what ends up coming out of it. But Thanks for watching another devlog, Double Demons, work in progress, and I'll see you next time.